Welcome, everyone. You have now entered the cosmic radio receptors of KCIW 100.7 FM, located just a few miles north of the California border in lovely coastal rainy Brookings in Oregon. Thank you for tuning into this week's interesting program. I'm Dr. GiGi, and my co-host is, as always, Jacques Kepner. How are you today, Jacques Poo?
I'm doing very good. And Doctor, just to let you know, next week's show is going to be the Doc and Doc Jacques show, because I got my PhD finally in physicianary, physicianing. I'm a doctor now.
Good for
Okay.
you.
It's also April Fool's Day.
Okay.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Doc and Jacques radio variety show. Special thanks to today's sound engineers and all-around happy and industrious men. Well, Michael Gorse might be out there still, but Ray Simon and Mr. Tony Stoddard are behind the big board today.
He made fantastic bread today. Yum, yum, yum.
Yep, I did.
Don't eat it.
That's what you say. Oh, okay. And hello to Tom Bozak, who's still out limping around. You're hearing this live syndicated show right now on KCIW, Brookings, Oregon. That said, the same syndicated show will be rebroadcast in exactly 1 week from today on Wednesday at 8 a.m. on our coastal southern friends, KZZH 96.7 FM in Eureka, Humboldt. So hello to all of our listeners down there. And then a few hours later at 1 p.m. at my old alma mater, KFUG 101.1 FM in Coastal Crescent City, California. So now you know we have your coasts covered. Now we're not going to have our MD GiGi today.
Right.
We got some special guests in the studio, and we decided to turn this into an information. We're going to start off with a cameo appearance by Dr. GiGi, and then go into a headliner by the name of Mona Chandler. In a world that moves at the speed of diagnosis and cures, there is a quiet corner of medicine that asks different questions, like not how do we fix this, or wow, I really mess it up. I'm not reading it. I'm coming up from memory, but that's okay. But it's more that we ask, how do we live well enough until the end? Hospice care is about more than easing pain. It's about preserving meaning, dignity, and connection when time becomes finite. One of the guests today, cameo, is Dr. GiGi, and she is also one of the co-medical directors at Coastal Hospice in California. Okay, I'll give the full name here in just a minute, which is Coastal Home Health and Hospice, right, Doc?
That is in Oregon.
Okay. And it's also in Crescent City, though.
No, that's only Coastal Hospice.
Oh,
There's no home health down there yet.
But you have spent years walking beside patients and their families through one of life's most sacred passages. She leads a team, leads a team that tends not only to bodies, but to hearts, memories, and the fragile, beautiful space between living and leaving. Her work touches many of us along this beautiful coastline. Through her hands pass not just medical charts, but the stories of those whose final days are shaped by care, compassion, and ultimately patience and acceptance. Today, we'll start off with our region's co-director of hospice, and then go to our headliner, as mentioned before. Mona Chandler is in the studio today to give a heartfelt and common sense information and help about crucial aspects that hospice brings to our region in a way you're not thinking might be her title and job. Grab your pen and paper or digital device, and let's explore what hospice teaches and provides for those of us mortals who one day, too, will pass across the veil of life and death. So, Dr. GiGi, my lovely, accomplished partner, friend, and doctor, let's start with you.
Well, thank you.
All right. What is your official title and position, or one of them?
I'm co-medical director of the hospice, Coastal Home Health and Hospice, and Coastal Hospice, depending on the state.
Interesting. So you do work both sides of the border, California and Oregon. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I see the big billboard out in front of the liquor store down there in Smith River. Yeah. There's a big sign. There's a big coastal, right? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mona's shaking her head over there and nodding approval.
True.
All right. So that's your official title and position. What do you mean, co-director? Who do you share that with?
With Dr. Palak Patel. He's the other co-medical director. funny thing, we also co-medical director at the acute rehab, and we co-work at his clinic, Dr. Patel's.
Oh, you're involved with him in the three ways.
In
That's
three
right.
ways.
Through his
Yeah.
Chetco Medical Center, right?
Yeah, right.
And
Isn't
then-
that funny?
Yeah, and then at the area acute rehab.
Yeah,
okay.
down at Sutter Coast in Crescent City.
All right.
Yep.
Well, caring for the elderly has been around since the dawn of time and is a global concern. But what is the origin of hospice, Doctor?
You mean the name or hospice?
Yeah, let's go
Hospice.
hospice, the meaning.
Okay, so hospice comes from the Latin hospitum,
Hospitium, okay.
meaning hospitality, lodging, or having a guest house of sorts.
Cool.
In the English language, it first meant shelter for travelers or such, especially the shelters that were run by monks.
Ray Simon and stuff.
And later it became the meaning more of a place for caring for the terminally ill.
Okay, how about is hospice in German?
Hospice.
Hospice? Mm-hmm. Wow, okay. Please, if you will, define the word hospice, if you can, in just one sentence, in both German and English. What do you think, Doc? Oh, that's good. I love her laugh.
Okay, in the modern sense right now, in the westernized countries, I would say hospice care provides comfort, focused support for the terminally ill patients and their families.
Okay, that was one long sentence, but that's a good sentence. And in the U.S., do you know how many people are in hospice care at any given time?
You know, I looked that up, and actually the real statistics end in 2022.
That's
so
COVID.
they have new ones out there, but I would say there's about 2 million Medicare beneficiaries who receive hospice care at this time.
Interesting. Do you have any other facts that you might find, that we might find interesting?
Yeah, so the cool thing is, number one, we don't have recent statistics. I don't know why, but we apparently don't. And the states have a different population of people in hospice. So Utah has almost 60%.
Wait, 60% of the people are in Utah are in
60% of Medicare late stage people are receiving hospice, or the people at death have been in hospice, and only about 25% in New York. So when they die, have they been in hospice type thing?
Interesting. And
so not 60% of all Utahns are in hospice.
Oh, darn it. What is the criteria, and why do people go on hospice?
Well, the criteria for hospice is, are you going to be expected to die within the next 6 months?
Okay.
So often, are you going to ask me about what are the most diagnoses in there?
Yeah.
So usually when people have cancer, it is somewhat possibly clear that the end is nigh. And so a lot of people have cancer diagnosis. They're on hospice. However, the other big thing now is dementia or Alzheimer's.
Really?
Yeah, and that is somewhat tricky because Alzheimer's people, even if they start to become more or less ready to go to hospice, or the families think they're ready for hospice, Alzheimer's or a dementia goes up and down. So people regroup and the families think, yay, the person is back, and then they fall even deeper and then they come back. So it is an undulating down trajectory. The other one is COPD, end-stage COPD, and heart issues like heart failure.
So when I do occasionally overhear you're in the office and you're speaking, and you have a whole fleet of nice folks that work as a hospice.
Oh my gosh,
right?
Yes. So we have this group, Coastal Hospice, Coastal Home Health and Hospice. They're amazing, and I did get to talk to the patients as well, and they're just very, very thankful because everybody is so compassionate. They're so good. They're so into their work of trying to help to make those last months worth living, pain-free, and with as much quality of life as possible. And they're so good. I mean, those people are just so caring. It is amazing. If you have ever had the fortunate to be related or being in contact with somebody from hospice for a patient or a person that needed it, you'll be surprised what a difference hospice care can make.
And at the big Christmas celebration at Checo Brewery in Brookings, there were so many people at that Christmas party, and so many of them were volunteers.
Oh, yeah. There were that was a Christmas party for the organization, and it was full. It was full with people and their partners, but they were all involved in hospice. It's amazing how many people participate in the care of the dying and the care of their families. That's such a big part of it.
Now, that's where, Mona, I'm sitting here going, that's where we met at the Christmas party. Don't tell me you weren't there, right?
I was there.
Okay.
I was running it.
Wow. Oh, you were running it. Okay, better. Good job.
Yeah,
Well,
it was good.
I met a lot of volunteers, but you're talking, you work hand in hand. Do you ever see the patients?
Yes, I do. So when I go see them, so they have to have, after certain intervals, they have to have a face-to-face visit, meaning you have to actually go see them, which since COVID, some of it can be done virtually. You just see them over the phone. Or if they're local, I can go. Hattie Meadham has hospice patients, so where I actually can go and talk to the patients.
Wow.
Yes, I do. And every single person just tells me how grateful they are for the service they're receiving. It's just overwhelming.
It's an emotional thing, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And is it something that is making you a better person? Do you feel a better doctor?
Oh, yeah. I mean, in the long run, because you have to have compassion to number one, be a hospice person involved at all. Number two, you see how it is. I mean, we all will die, and we all want to die in a way that we feel cared for. And so you want to be as good as you want to be treated later on. And I think everybody does that. You can't be in the field not being compassionate.
Right.
Yeah. Does it make me a better person? Well, I don't probably. I mean, I said, yeah, before I was. No, I mean, I think you have, obviously, all the information you get, all the experience makes me a better person, makes us being better with interacting with people, I think, I hope.
Yeah. And what's it like? You're the one that has to sign off on all these death certificates. So
Partly, yeah.
What's that all about? I mean, your name has been on the line when you sign
Yeah.
off.
So yeah, that is true. So we have to assign the district. It is kind of strange a tiny bit, because if people come to hospice, sometimes we have never seen the person before. We don't know their medical history. They obviously have a cancer because they were treated maybe, and so now they have breast cancer or pancreatic cancer, whatever they had, and then they come into our care. The average stay in care facility is hospice care is like 5 days. It's ridiculous, but there are some people who have been there for almost a year. So, but average-wise, so you can see they come to us very, very many times just before they're dying, they're passing away. And so when the death certificates come in, we will have to find a reason, not only that, what did they die of? Well, they had cancer. Well, what caused the cancer? Well, we don't know. We've only known him for 3 days. And so the regulations are you have to have a reason, which sometimes is super hard. Sometimes you have to say, well, we don't know. But so that sometimes delays the death certificate signature because we have to find those reasons. And sometimes families cannot take and bury the bodies because the death certificate hasn't been signed. So that is traumatic then as well.
We talked about that with Redwood Memorial Chapel
Yes,
people,
yeah.
Mary and Jake.
Fox.
Yeah, there we go. So before we go any further, Tony Stoddard, our crack sound engineer, asked a question. Wanted to know, what is the difference between palliative care and hospice care?
Palliative care, you don't have to have a diagnosis that is projected to end your life within 6 months. Palliative care, you can still get treatment as well for the diagnosis that you are on palliative care. And Usually when you're on hospice, let's say you're on hospice for cancer, you can only be on that when you don't take any more cancer drugs, or for that, or you don't want to have surgery. So the diagnosis that you're on hospice for is not being treated anymore. Now, all the other stuff, diabetes and COPD and blood pressure, that can still be treated, but you cannot ask for chemotherapy or immunotherapy, because then you wouldn't be on hospice. Palliative care, you can still get treatment, and right now it really almost comes down to pain management for that terminal diagnosis. So palliative care is more taking care of the pain that some of the final diagnoses can cause you.
Okay, did you get that, Tony? All right, now would you say all these answers in German, please?
Yeah,
Okay.
but not right now.
Okay, later on, darn it. So many of these older people, when they're in their late 80s and 90s, it seems to me like a lot of them would be Alzheimer's. It's a high prevalence, right?
Yeah. Well, Alzheimer's or dementia by itself is very high. So I was surprised seeing that Alzheimer's is not on the top of the list. So it's still cancer, but there's another one, COPD or something, or heart failure of some sort. We have 3 in the running right now. But it appears to me in our hospice group, I think Alzheimer's or dementia is top of the list right now.
Okay, last thing I got to ask you about is drugs, and more drugs and other drugs. So what is it? What do you give end-of-life people? If they have the cancer, are they like heavily sedated, or are they on morphine, or what is the...
So they are treated as per what they need, not like we'll just give them morphine and knock them out. So some people don't have pain, so they don't get any morphine or Tylenol or ibuprofen. So really only when they have pain issues. Some people with end-stage COPD, they can't breathe. That's what COPD is. And so they're on oxygen, but then they get really nervous and breathe shallow and fast because you don't get enough oxygen. So in those people, we do give morphine at times, and we do give benzodiazepines. We do just make them breathe deeper and relax them some. But we certainly don't knock anybody out. So everybody will be evaluated. We have these fantastic nurses that go and evaluate their needs and what their diagnosis is, what the DME needs are, what the family needs. And we'll talk about DME in a second.
Cool
but so that's what all happens at the admit. It is fantastic. And so every patient who comes on has a personalized packet to come on with to see. And then once they're on, then nurses go out and evaluate. Do they need more? Do they need less? What else do they need other than, certain medications?
Okay, absolutely. Do you think everybody fears death, doctor?
Of course. Everybody does.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you don't have to be in fear, but we all say, dang, and what's going to happen?
Right.
Or, I don't care if I die, I just don't want to be in pain. I mean, then you fear the pain, right?
The final countdown.
Do you not?
Yeah, I would say so. I would say most people, if they honestly ask, say, yeah, well, because the unknown. But science is unveiling the other part of the veil, the other side of the veil, which are, speculating, but it's maybe not as bad as we think. Thank you so much, Doctor, for that interjection. And you did mention DME.
Yeah.
And that is coming up right now, because today we have this very special guest, someone whose work truly makes a difference in the lives of so many people. We're excited to welcome Mona Chandler, who leads the DME, or would you tell me what that means, Mona?
That means durable medical equipment.
There we go. She handles that department at Coastal Home and Health Hospice in beautiful Brookings, Oregon. And is it Crescent City too, right? So you kind of have a wide swing of both the...
Yes, we deliver that both in both counties and state.
Okay. Hospice care is all about bringing comfort, compassion, and dignity to people and families during some of life's harder moments. As a nonprofit 501c3 organization, Coastal Home and Health helps make that care possible every day. And Mona's role, amongst many others, we'll find out, is right at the heart of it all, for she oversees that equipment that patients rely on, like hospital beds or oxygen tanks. You're going to fill us in. Wheelchairs, the things that make home care comfortable and safe. Beyond those logistics, Mona's work, I'm sure, is deeply personal. She and her team make sure families have what they need so they can focus on love, connection, and peace. And the number of lives touched by her compassion is truly countless. So we're happy to have Mona Chandler with us today and share her journey, her passion for helping others, and the wonderful work happening at Coastal Home and Health Hospice. Welcome, Mona, to the Doc and Jacques Show.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. And Jacques cannot learn it. It's Coastal Hospice or Coastal Home Health and Hospice.
You know why I do that? Because then you have to correct it. Then people will remember it.
Yeah, very good.
That's my logic.
Psychologically, very sound.
Absolutely.
All right, Mona, let's start you off with, where were you born and raised?
Well, I was born in Taipei, Taiwan.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, so she
I have
blue-eyed and...
I have a stamp on my foot that said made in Taiwan.
She's blonde and blue-eyed, by the way?
No.
Darn good joke there. I like it.
Thank you.
That's a good one.
So I was born there. My dad was in the military, and that's why we were stationed. And so my mom had me on the military base there in Taipei, Taiwan. So I actually have 2 birth certificates, one from Taipei, Taiwan, and then one from the United States.
Whoa, and it's in the language?
Taiwanese?
Yes.
English and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Have you ever learned the language at all?
No.
Did your mom ever speak it?
No.
Oh, darn.
You left 1 minute after you were born, or when? Why did you just came to the States?
I lived there till I was 2, and then my dad was stationed back in the United States. So we came back.
So what brought you here then?
Well, I moved here when I was 10 years old. My parents divorced, and my mother came up here to visit a cousin, and we never went back. And that was in 1979. And so we went back, got our stuff, and came back up here. And basically, I've been raised here.
Very
since I was 10 years
local.
old. Yeah.
So that is
The Taiwanese local.
Yeah.
You've seen a lot of changes.
I have.
Sure, yeah.
I really have. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you invest in property and locations on the beach back 20, 25 years ago?
I wish I had.
Right. You're going to buy up all those places. They're all $1 million now.
Right.
All right. What is your official title and position?
So my official title is I am the Community Outreach and Marketing Manager. So my community outreach is very broad. So I do work with a lot of the physicians from here to in the Valley, all the way up to Eugene, down into California, working with them, educating them on how to proceed with giving referrals. So I do a lot of training in that with their medical assistants.
Wait, you train them how to refer to hospice?
Yes, there actually is a need to know how to do that, because it makes it very difficult for us to do once we receive a referral and we don't receive certain things with it. It holds up the process for us to get the patients on. So under that community outreach, I also provide, I'm the face of the company. I'm the very first individual that the family sees and hears from when we're working on getting patients onto hospice. So I am that first person making that first phone call, making sure that the family is aware of the referral that was made for them. And then I set up time for them to answer questions for them, to help them to understand what our role is and what our services are and what hospice is. And then I set up a time to go out and do the paperwork.
How do you get the referral? What do you mean? The family usually calls in and says, "We've got dad is on the decline."
So I'm really glad that you asked that, because I think the community needs to understand that you don't have to have your physician refer your loved one or yourself to hospice. They can do community referral, which is basically that loved one or that individual is calling in themselves and saying, we think our loved one is ready for hospice, or I'm ready for hospice, and could you please explain to me what it requires or the criteria for that?
Wow,
So
how
I'm the
cool is
individual
that?
that breaks all that down.
I had a visit today with a person for a hospice referral, and I was thinking, OMG, that, okay. And I just saw her the other day, last week or so. And so I talked to her, and he said, yeah, we need hospice. And I said, what do you need that for? You really don't have a diagnosis. And he said, yeah, but I need help. And I said, you can actually self-refer her. And he said, but I called and they said, I need your referral. So it turns out he wanted home health, which is not hospice, right? I don't know where that misconception came from. So home health is so much different from hospice. Home health is help in the home with a lot of things, like medical management, bathing,
So
dressing.
hospice does that too, right? Or does it not?
But
Good.
hospice is much more drastic, right?
It is a higher level of medical care. And when we say that, it really is. You're going to receive a higher level of medical care in your home than you would in the doctor's office
sure.
or in the hospital or whatever. There are, with that higher level medical care, the main goal or the picture that supports that is that you have 24-hour nursing care at your fingertips. And when I say that, I mean that you're literally calling the nurse at any time of the day or night, asking for help, and whether that individual needs to be seen immediately by the nurse, or if the nurse is actually just on the phone with the loved one, walking them through the steps to manage the barrier that the family and the patient is having at that time.
So what was it? Would you say 5 days is the average time in hospice? Is that right?
That is the average time on hospice is 5 days.
Wait until the
So
very...
We just don't expect that this is the end, right, Franny?
It's hard for people to really look at that and go, we see a decline, we'll wait a little longer because mom's still able to get up and pivot and get on the toilet. But really, ultimately, if that individual is not drinking or eating or is becoming, last week they were walking and now they're bedbound, it's really time to really make sure that you're covering your bases to prepare yourself and your loved ones for the transition of the patient.
And not only to get ready mentally, to have all the help, all the support. You get spiritual support, and you get the DME support. The DMEs are also available for non-hospice people, right? I mean, that one is a big point as well. So you don't have to be on hospice to request a wheelchair or a walker or such. So before
referral, I want to go back to the referral. Everyone deserves not to die alone unless they're completely demented or have Alzheimer's, but they aren't quite sure what's going on. Is there ever those kind of cases where somebody just has no referral, they're just dying? Maybe our neighbor finally says, I haven't seen Joe for a couple of days, and I could hear him moaning.
Yeah.
Right.
So they don't have to have a referral. If they or somebody else, we actually had somebody call the other day in regards to their neighbor. They didn't have a lot of information about the neighbor, but they were able to say, I really believe that this patient is needing hospice.
And they did?
I'm still researching that and
new,
investigating that.
Wow. So we thought you were really into the marketing, but you're many things. That's why you're a prominent thing. Who's your boss? Is that Jamie Doherty? You're up there in the echelon, right?
It is.
Go, Jamie.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, folks, I have to stop here for just a second because we have that mid-time break right now. What do you got, Doctor? No, I got it. I've got it, yeah. Thank you for having fun with us. It's already that mid-break time here on Doc and Jacques live radio show, proudly broadcasting from the KCIW 100.7 FM studios in lovely coastal Brookings, Oregon. The list of major supporters for your community radio stations are Advanced Airlines, flying in and out of nearby Crescent City to Oakland and LA now, 7 days a week. Michelle Ramos with our own vibrant local Curry County Chamber of Commerce. Always a big shout out to Michelle. Nick and Lisa Rail, how are you doing down in the Crescent City area? And your PPA, or the Partnership for the Performing Arts, job well done. We have a new major supporter of community radio that has just joined the team, and that is, it's Mona. Good. Now, did I get this right? Coastal Home Health and Hospice.
Yes.
Okay. See, I did okay. Which serves Northern California and Southern Oregon. This exemplary, emotional, and helpful nonprofit organization is here to help all of us as we grow older and transition from one house to another. Welcome aboard, Mona and Coastal Home Health and Hospice Services. Finally, we want to thank my dear co-host, Dr. GiGi Reed, and I'm not going to thank myself because you're the gal. On behalf of KCIW, thanks to all of you. And there we go. That makes everybody happy in the room.
All right, let's go into the DMEs.
Okay.
What DMEs do you have for whom?
Yes. So, again, we talked about DME, which is durable medical equipment, which is offered at Coastal Medical Supplies at 585 Fifth Street.
Oh, it has its own name, right? Coastal Medical
Okay,
Supplies.
it's
Yes.
right above the grocery outlet, and
Yes.
is it O'Reilly's, one of those, that little,
It's right behind
and
that.
Brookings? Yeah.
Yes. And so it's actually 2 buildings behind that. And the doors that face the ocean allows the customer to walk directly into our durable medical equipment store.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, DME is offered with wheelchairs and medical beds and shower chairs and compression socks and
Everything.
yeah, I mean, we have down to wound care,
Like bandages.
yeah, all
and
types of
gauze
yeah,
and,
yeah.
and splints.
Yep, we have
And-
nebulizers,
Yeah.
and we have that for adults and for children.
Oh.
So we actually carry the nebulizer child mask.
Okay.
which
Wait a minute.
is-
Wait, a nebulizer, what Spock does when he grabs your shoulder. He puts you out. Isn't that what a nebulizer is?
No.
Spock?
I don't even see how that can be.
Okay, darn it.
anything.
Hey, Mona laughed. I got away with it. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Now,
There
let me,
you
Let me
go.
go back one thing. So you are a 501c3 nonprofit entity, right? Okay.
Yes, we are. We are. And basically it's actually rewarding and actually very, I think, very awesome that we are a nonprofit, which means that our primary purpose is to serve our community rather than generate profit for owners or shareholders. And any revenue we receive, it's reinvested directly back into our services and to support the patients and their families. So as I can attest to this year already, which we're barely halfway through, we have had patients that are under 65 that do not have Medicare and do not have Medicaid. And because of that, we were able to provide services, hospice services, to them with the money that we have generated through
cool.
fundraisers and donations that have been given to us
Right
from
on.
the
So
community.
people should
Very
keep
good.
that in mind, right?
Yes.
They should include that in
Yes.
your will or your trust to say, hey,
Absolutely.
we could give from any money you could.
And this is not stuff that you give away. Well, after it's done being used, it comes back and some
Correct.
other person can profit from that. Right?
Yes,
So
either the equipment through
Yeah.
equipment or furniture donations. But we also accept endowments and then large donations, small donations. However, we also have what is called the Tree of Life, where loved ones have passed on hospice, and you're able to buy either a gold leaf, a silver leaf, or a platinum leaf that is written whatever you want engraved on that leaf, and then it's put up there on the Tree of Life.
Oh, cool.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
Hey, you know, it's something else that I gotta bring this in because this helped me immensely 10 years ago, and my late partner died tragically. It was the bereavement groups, the grieving groups that I went to. Man, that helped me so much. I gotta give thanks to that. It really got me kind of back on on the straight and level path again because of that. So is there a bereavement group up there? Well,
We do have a bereavement group that happens in the Crescent City area. It happens in the Brookings area. And then we also have started one up in Gold Beach.
right on.
The one in Gold Beach is held at the library. The one in Brookings is held here in our building at 585 Fifth Street. And then the one in Crescent City, I want to say it is,
The library, maybe?
I
No? Yeah?
believe it might be the senior center.
Okay.
I could be wrong on that,
All right.
but
They're on,
I will get you some current
out
information.
on, what is the road? Lake Earl Drive. Oh, no, Northcrest. On
Yeah.
Northcrest is the, okay, well, great.
And there are social workers working in a hospice care. They come and help as
Yes.
well. They're part of the team.
That is correct.
So, yeah, how many people do all of us going to need some medical equipment when we?
Absolutely. So I did some research and I looked it up as well. And basically everybody in their lifetime will need DME at least once.
Wow.
So that could be anywhere from crutches.
I was just going to say, I had crutches.
Right, right. I've been on crutches more than once. So, and DME is considered braces. It's considered a cane. It could be a knee scooter if you've breaking your ankle.
Yeah,
those
so
things,
durable-
those look cool. I like
Durable medical equipment actually means it's durable. It can be handed. It doesn't break after one time
Correct.
use. So that's what
Yeah.
the durable actually means, which is really cool.
But wait a minute,
Yes.
beds are huge.
Yes.
They get
And
and
they're
they
heavy, right? Aren't they really heavy? Those beds?
They are. They actually break down into 3 pieces. And so they can get into the narrowest of areas in order to, provide the bed for the patient. If they have just a small area, they
So I
come
see
apart.
you have a big truck out parked in front of the parking lot, right?
Yep.
The name of it on the side. That's cool.
Yep.
And you have people come in and help set those things up? and
We
meet with
do.
families?
Yeah.
Wow.
They
See,
deliver those as well.
This is fantastic. So
Yeah.
DME is not just for old people. It's for anybody and
like
everyone.
the kid that had the pediatric mask, right?
Yeah.
So the nebulizer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, how much equipment do you actually have there? Is it just a store full of stuff? Or?
So we carry the beds in stock, the medical beds. We carry all different sizes. There is bariatric beds that we actually can get. If we don't have it in stock, we can get it within 3 days. And then we also carry different sizes of wheelchairs. So we have bariatric wheelchairs, and then we have the smallest of the small wheelchair.
Bariatrics means extra large?
Yes.
Yeah, for extra large folks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Gigi, it's your turn.
Is all of it covered? I know you said it's Medicare covered, and then it's for people who are not covered. You have extra, but like the Band-Aids, let's just say Band-Aid, the stuff that's actually used up, is that also, it's part of the DME? Is that covered? Is insurance going to be charged for it?
It would not. So they would just be paying out of pocket for that. But I really want to encourage people to know that our prices are very, very competitive. And I'm saying to the point where we're meeting prices as cheap as what Amazon is selling it within a dollar or two.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the biggest thing is that when we're looking to go and buy those items, it's something that you need right then. And so having that store here,
Yeah.
it is the closest DME store within a 200 to 300 mile range.
Oh, interesting. Right.
Yeah.
Do you work with other charitable entities like hospitals or the Elks?
We work with the Elks a
Yeah.
lot, and we do refer a lot of people up there. I actually am an Elk member and served on their board. And so I've seen lots of DME that they do have. So they will either loan it out, or if you're needing it for a long period of time, they don't
So
have
let me
a
get this
problem
straight.
with that.
I could use a bed or wheelchair, and then after I don't need it any longer, it can be returned and cleaned up, and then
Back to the Elks.
back to the Elks.
Mhm.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And then we also at the DME store at Coastal Medical Supplies, we also have a renting program as well.
Oh.
So if there's this lapse or gap in between your insurance coming aboard
Yeah.
or getting on, you can rent the bed. That's probably one of the biggest things that we rent out is the bed. And so they will rent the bed. I believe I want to say it's like $150 a month to rent the bed.
Wow, that's
And
good.
yeah.
And that's the mattress that goes.
Yes, you can get the pressurized mattress. I like that sound that you made.
I've never heard you make that. Though. That's given that the average length of a person on hospice is only 5 days. It's still
And it's pretty amazing because when we do an admit, it's always the medications, everything is actually scheduled to come in the next day.
Yes. So that it's a package with different types of medications, and it's usually anywhere from 2 to 5 days that the patient will receive that. And so, but the on-site medications that they need right then and there,
Right,
we can
okay.
do a local fill.
Okay, yeah.
And so that is where we ask for through our pharmacy that we utilize,
Yeah.
and then they send it to, if you're locally here in the Brookings area, it would be sent to Fred Meyer's or
so.
so on and so
Let me
forth.
ask off the cuff here: how much of people often thinks, well, Grandpa's going away real soon. Just load him up with drugs and let him go. But it's really not that case, is it? It's
It really isn't.
That's not what hospice's
No.
philosophy is at all.
No, it's not. The philosophy is really about making sure that that individual has a good quality of life.
right.
That is our number one goal. We want to make sure that our number one goal when we're dealing with patients, especially with cancer, COPD, there's a lot of high anxiety and there's a lot of pain. And we want to make sure that we're dealing with that very, very quickly. So a lot of times when I go out, because I'm the first person that sees the patient, I'm usually going back and letting the staff there, the team know what is going on, kind of boots on the ground right up front. So if they need to get those meds before they go out and do that assessment, we have those medications.
Fabulous.
Oh, wow. So you traveled Port Orford down to Crescent City to Klamath? Is that how low it goes?
Sometimes.
Now,
Wow.
that is interesting. Okay, so, Gigi, ask another question.
Yeah, I had a
My
question.
phone just went off.
Okay, but you took over. Now I forgot. Okay, so now when this is all downtrodden and sad, you have some fun, uplifting stories, interesting,
we want some
anything
fun.
like that?
Humorous, funny.
Well, I was thinking about this. The other day, and I think the one that most recently stuck with me is we had a family out in the Port Orford area, and they live on a huge, huge ranch, and the wife needed me to come in and admit her husband. And so we did that, and we went through the process of that. And her husband was, lived to a good quality of life and has transitioned now. She called me the other day and she said, I have to put my mom on hospice now. And I said, okay. I said, she's like, you know where I live, right? And I said, yeah. You know what to do at the gate? And I said, yeah. And so went back out there, and she just, it was really kind of surreal for her to have to put her mom on, but she knew what she was in for, and she was okay with that, and she was excited, and she did really request the same nurse that actually.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah, and so was able to do that, and the nurse was very ecstatic to be able to provide that service for her with her family.
I had an admit phone call, and the nurse said, so don't go with your GPS. It's out in the woods somewhere. There's 2 gates. The first gate is easy to open. The second one, I don't know. He went on and on about that.
Yeah.
It's funny because once you have gone that route, I guess you pass on how the next people actually find that out because they're out in the boonies at some time. And
Literally, yeah. You're like, okay, you're going to pass the second cattle guard.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're going to make a right. And then you're going to see this post with a blue reflector on it.
I know, right?
And I mean, it literally gets to that. And
What is the best part of your job?
I think the best part of my job is being able to bring comfort and a good quality of life to the patient and their families, and knowing that I'm able to support them. I have met some amazing people and their stories. And
I bet so. How long have you been with hospice?
It will be 5 years in November.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, but I've only been doing this particular position for about 2 years, and doing the admissions.
I don't know. I guess I could do it, but I would think of maybe other jobs because it's so emotional, I would think.
It is. There are times where I've gone and done 3 to 4 admits in one day.
Whoa.
And I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm an empath, but I deeply feel their pain and their struggles. And I think that it can get a lot. Sometimes my daughter will call me when I'm driving. She's like, "Oh, I can tell what's going on." And I'm like, "Well, I just had 3 admits, and every one of them cried, and some cry and some don't."
Right.
And I said, I just really understand and can relate with them. And it's hard. It can be hard. So,
I think it's probably harder on your side than ours because I get asked that too, saying, "Isn't that hard?" And of course it's sad, but we are there to make it bearable. We make that transition easier, which makes it much better than not doing it, right? So I think that's a good part, and it for sure is draining emotionally because you cannot just say, "Okay, yeah, fine."
Yep.
No, you have to feel it, or you can't be there anyway, right?
I think, yeah. And I think the other thing that is really hard for me that I think kind of sums up, I've lived in this community for over 47 years, and I know a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I can't go and tell my husband that his friend is dying,
Yes.
Yeah.
that his friend has died, I can't reveal that, and it's very difficult.
Is that what you call transitioning? Is that when they passed
That's
on?
what I call transitioning.
Okay, I want to say something. When my father died many years ago, I was at the house, and I thought, my dad loved food all his life. Grew up in San Francisco, and we knew every restaurant. I was trying to feed him. He didn't want to eat. I was going, "Come on, Dad, eat food." I didn't know better until she comes along and Doc says, "No, that's your body." What?
That's the process.
Shutting down. They're done.
That's the process.
Don't,
A little ice cube.
But we both, Jacques and I, have had we had what's the word? Like our partners were in hospice, and to have that experience changed me dramatically. So hospice, because before when people even talked about it, has number one, you don't really care, you don't really think about it because nobody dies, and if anybody does, it's certainly not yourself type thing. And then when you do have somebody in hospice and you get that feeling, that support, and it changed me, and I'm really grateful to be able to work in hospice because of my experience before.
Okay.
With hospice.
What about this is off the cuff too? How about the black pill? Dignity with life or death?
Death
But
with
you have
dignity.
not
We don't.
prescribed-
I don't do that at all. They can go. The patients can go and request it through other sources. They need 2 doctor okays. But I'm not going to do it because that's not my philosophy either.
I've been to 2 parties, death parties, where we, they were given, and we celebrated with the people, and then went home and the next morning, it was all over. It was all over right after the party. What about you? Have any take on that, Mona?
I've actually had a couple of cases where I went in, signed the paperwork with the individual. They were very adamant and knew a lot, and they were very educated, and they knew what they needed to do. They do encourage death with dignity in Oregon.
In Oregon, yeah.
They do encourage that hospice be involved. It's mainly there for support.
Wow,
It's not to initiate anything, because I don't think people understand is that the patient actually has to administer it themselves.
Yes.
So if they cannot
Right.
do that or feed themselves, they're not going to be able to do that. So
The other thing also is, well, number one, I want to say I do support that. If a person wants to make the decision, yes, they can. I think it is death with dignity. I just can't do it being in the hospice setting. Now,
Not because you don't want to. You're basically
because this is not hospice. Hospice is to
I see. Yeah.
extend the. Okay, go ahead.
Okay,
I
well,
forgot what I was going to say.
so with you were covering a lot of bases here. What's the very best thing that you like about your job? Is there something you could sum it up after 5 years? You've seen a lot.
I have seen a lot, but I enjoy the people that I work with.
Right on.
The people are amazing. I want to go to work every day, every Friday.
Because your coworkers and the people that you're treating,
Yes.
right?
Yes. And
So
and the,
interesting.
and the I tell Jamie every Friday I still love my job.
There you go.
And
Hi,
I
Jamie.
know
You're next on the show.
yeah. I think the one thing that I do want to say, though, I think the hardest part in my job is when I have to have conversations with adult children that they live in Roseburg and their 100-year-old dad is here, and he's still able to somewhat get on his own, and he has somebody helping him 2 or 3 days a week, but not 8 hours a day. It's really having those tough conversations about, hey, your dad is at a point that he needs you, or that you need to consider either moving your dad into a facility or looking to bring your dad home with you in Roseburg. But it's also those individuals that don't have any family.
Yeah.
And so they may have an 89-year-old wife and the 92-year-old husband who is starting to transition, and she's still taking care of him. And I have to look at her and go, well, do you have a plan B? And she's like, what do you mean a plan B? And I said, what if you were to fall and break your hip or break your leg or whatever? So I think those conversations people don't normally think about. And so
Right. Or we have people who, as you said, they don't have family, period. They don't have family. It's a neighbor who comes over and that is, so hospice is in those times their family, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fascinating. Very, very interesting. Now we know all about DME, the durable medical, and that where to get it at a cost, at a great cost, and who will help you by reaching out. All this information is free. Just they can reach out and ask and get step into that. And I will again say the bereavement, the grieving groups are phenomenal. Very good. So how do people get a hold of Mona Chandler, or how do people get a hold of hospice?
Yeah, so they can call 541-469-0405 and dial extension 414,
Oh my goodness.
and they'll be asking for Mona.
Oh, that's it. But if they just do the 541-469-0405, they'll just get.
They'll be put into the phone tree, and it'll be just
phone
this
tree.
mirage of dial this number.
But they can
and
stop by and also walk in the door,
Absolutely.
right? Up behind the.
So give the addresses of both.
So it's 585 5th Street, and the DME store or the durable medical equipment store, those doors face the ocean.
Cool.
The hospice and home health side, those doors face 5th Street.
What are the days of operation, Mona?
Operation is Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 5.
Wow, Cool.
Yep.
Right on. So
Yep.
somebody's there staffing it. Are you on social media?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are on Facebook. We are also have a website. It's www.coastalhhh.org.
Okay. I think see, if you'd have told me that right off the bat, I would have also got it. Okay. Well, Mona Chandler, very fascinating, very interesting.
Yes, thank
Wonderful
you.
work that you do. Hats off to you all the way around. This is wonderful. And keep up the good work.
Yes,
And say
for
hello
sure.
to Jamie Doherty.
Yes, I will.
Okay, Doc, what time is it? It is
Fun
fun time
time
corner.
corner.
Oh, boy.
Woohoo.
Ready for some levity here now? A little bit of
Yes.
fun jokes
Let's make
and
it
whatnot.
funner.
Hey, where do pirates get their hooks from?
The DME coastal store.
At secondhand shops. Okay, what do you got? Give us some.
Okay, so since we were just moving, I have moving quotes. If you're brave enough to say goodbye, life will reward you with a new hello.
Okay. Studies show that people who have more birthdays live longer. Yeah. Isn't that cool? All right. What another?
To wake up for the first time in a new place can be like another birth.
Yeah, we've moved into Brookings, so
heard
we're
that.
happy that. Why did my friends skip putting candles on my birthday cake? Because at my age, that number of candles is considered a fire hazard. Okay.
No, this is not the beginning of a new chapter in my life. This is the beginning of a new book.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, that's a cool stage. What's the best way to remember Dr. GiGi's birthday, Mona, if you know? Just forget it once.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, okay. Dr. GiGi, you are not old. You're more like mid-century modern.
Oh,
That's what appraisers, like
okay.
auctioneers, that's what we call them.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
The magic of moving forward is simply this. You cannot start the next chapter if you keep rereading the last one.
Now, that one makes sense.
Yeah.
Good, I like that one. Folks, don't worry about your age. At least you're not as old as you will be next year.
That one is a good one.
Not bad. Okay, I'm getting better now. I'm having fun. Okay, give us some more quotes.
Okay, I only have one more.
Oh.
May your home know joy, every room holds laughter, and every window gets to great possibilities.
Cool. Last week, my Visa card was stolen. Now it's everywhere that I want to be. But I don't think I will report it that it's been stolen because the thief, he's spending a lot less than I.
That one is a good one.
That cute. I'm so old, my birth certificate is written in hieroglyphics. To steal from one person is plagiarism. To steal from many is research.
Okay.
Okay. I once almost had a psychic girlfriend, but she left me before we ever met. I'd kill for the Nobel Peace Prize. Okay, are we about done, Doc? No, we got another
30
minute?
30
Okay,
seconds, yeah.
I'll bet anybody that I could quit gambling.
Oh my gosh.
All right, I started out with nothing, and I still have most of it. After a month of dieting, I lost 30 days. I keep constantly trying to lose weight, but it keeps finding me. I actually started the whiskey and rum diet along with Ray Simon, and so far we've lost 4 days together.
Okay, one more.
All right.
Make it a good one.
This morning I asked Siri, why am I still still single and so unpopular? And she activated the self-facing camera.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Okay, let's get out of this misery. Folks, you have been listening to the Doc and Jacques show on KCRW 100.7 FM in Brookings, Oregon. We hope you have enjoyed our show as much as we have learning about Coastal Hospice DME.
Yeah, thanks, Mona. It was a great show indeed. Peace and prosperity to everybody out there. Thanks again to Ray Simon and Tony Stoddard and Michael Gorson, Ray and Tom Bozak to Identity. Appreciate it all. Mail us if you know of a talented, interested person at docandjacques@gmail.com.
Bye-bye.
Bye.